if we were just to sum up some of the key learning points so far, just and this is where I'm trying to just get you to sort of, if there was if we were to in a sentence or in a word, what would we say are some of the key things we've learned?
Okay, that's a good question. There's a lot more details that come out of the woodwork very quickly once you start planning something like this, and it makes you realize how long it actually takes to go from a concept with nothing at all before you're even building anything. I mean, obviously we've got our existing fundraising platform Givey.com, but I mean that's been years of concepts and designs and development for a long time. So it's easier to think of a new feature or plan a new feature in a product, but when you're starting basically from scratch, you realize there's a lot of work involved.
I'm glad you said that, James, because it reminds me of a quote from Einstein. I quite like Einstein, and he said something like, if I had an hour to solve a problem that my life depended on, if I can quote this correctly, he said I'd use about 55 minutes just to work out what the questions were.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's been something that's resonated well with us, because it's we by nature we would just launch into producing a solution. Here's a platform, here's a tech solution, but it's very frustrating. And I think this is why I admire the skills you've got, guys. Is that we're really trying to work out what the questions are, and that's why it's taking the time it takes, and it takes real nerve to spend 55 minutes of an hour just working out the questions rather than launching into something. And so perhaps that for me as well, one of the learning things is just how to live in this space, in this problem space, and keep teasing out what the issues are. And you've been building very much a team of people, or a whole load of stakeholders, haven't you? And they've all got different perspectives, and it's just capturing all of their thoughts, really.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't put it better.
I was going to just say it really challenges, especially if the more experienced you are, that you do not use any assumptions, and actually stop looking at everything in this space with that filter, basically. And that's natural. The more experience you have, the more you kind of think, okay, well, it's about this and this, and then you are actually looking at it with that kind of filter. And I think that again is quite a skill of unwinding that, and just talking about the possibility of saying, looking at it for what it is, basically. And you might say, John, a lot more thinking, more kind of sitting and reflecting, and kind of thinking that don't think a certain way, basically. Just look at what it is, and then explore. And obviously, as always, learnings is start to talk to people, read, etc. Whatever. That actually it's like as if going back to childhood, basically. Yeah, and actually saying, come on, just kind of put it ground zero, and then really build your knowledge and build your the way you're looking at everything, the assumptions, the business model, the finances, everything. Absolutely everything. And I think it's actually been actually a very, very what's the word? Amazing, I think is the word. Amazing journey that we're going through, basically, whatever. Every morning getting up and thinking, what's going to come.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. So there's a lot of unlearning, really. And the next slide, James, and when you said that about that journey.
Where are we going from here? Okay, so the next phase is to actually build our community, and the way we're going to do that is through an airdrop to EOS token holders. Now, for people who don't know what an airdrop is, that is essentially giving everyone free tokens for GiveyNation, which will be used within our platform when it's live. So this is basically to get to start to build a community of people who can immediately come on board on GiveyNation and start using it. So that's basically the next stage, really. You know, and in conjunction with that, we're going to be starting development and building the product. So I'll just jump ahead to the token distribution. So how's this going to work with these tokens? So we've got a breakdown here. So there's going to be tokens to existing token holders. Is going to be 1-to-1. This will be based on the initial Genesis snapshot of the Ethereum blockchain before EOS launched. So everyone who owns EOS currently will get 1 GiveyNation token for that. So that's the basic distribution there. Next steps, as I said, airdrop is the next phase that we're doing now. We'll be having our full white paper out shortly as well. So that will be in the next week or so. We're planning to do more videos like this, and I believe some live webinars, probably with some Q&A. This is, you know, just as much for our benefit as well as the community benefit as well, which will help us shape things moving forward, and ultimately help us build the product out based on feedback we get.
Great. So we've pretty well come to the end of our session. So I'd like to thank James and Neil for, you know, being so flexible and yeah, I think this is one of the first times you've run a webinar or this kind of shoot. So you've done incredibly well. And it just remains for me to sort of thank our listeners for their attention. You may be listening to this either as a one long file or as a series of little mini things. But I hope it's been useful, and we certainly want to make it useful. So give us feedback on how it's gone. Tell us what we could do more of, what we could do less of, and do get involved. And I think James, these would be the main channels for people to get involved.
So yeah, we'll be publishing everything out on our Twitter, Telegram, and we've also got a Steemit account as well, which is just GiveyNation as well. So steemit.com/GiveyNation, and yeah, more content to come soon.
Brilliant. And I think it really is about getting involved. And I think this is for me, the big shift, James, is we're really just, as you say, just starting to tip this rock off the edge of the hill, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
And get
absolutely.
it rolling, you know. And it will, or a snowball probably is probably a better metaphor, and it will start to grow, pick up pace and get bigger and bigger and bring more and more people with it. So, you know, we don't have all of the answers. We don't even have all the questions, but we've got a desire to get this moving. And anybody who's got any ideas about where we should be doing or what we should be doing, we want them to contact you, James, in the first instance.
Yeah, just contact us or tweet us. We're always open to anything.
Brilliant. Great. So thanks everybody for listening, and look forward to being back with you online as soon as we can with more updates and next steps. Thank you very much. Cheers.